Okay, we have some news about the southern pine beetle that I want to talk about. Obviously, it's a painful subject to talk about. I hate talking about it, but I have to. This is a satellite view of Napeague, the latest satellite view from Google Napeague State Park, which is between Amagansett and Montauk on the South Fork, out east, way out east. And you can see here this satellite image shows just how devastating it has been. And these widespread beetle outbreaks have really just destroyed many areas of pines here, as you can see. It's most of it is gone over here. You can see really this whole stretch, which used to all be pines here, is all dead trees. And it's because the state did not act fast enough, so this is what happened. This is what we're left with here. And you can see all these pines are gone. They're dead because, again, southern pine beetles have run rampant in this area and have caused tremendous damage to the forest here, unfortunately, as you see there. And what it used to look like, we can take you back to what it used to look like. Here's December, and this is what it used to look like. It used to be full of pines here. It used to be beautiful, but unfortunately, the beetles started, and they just, in a matter of years, it's turned from that to this. And it's all over this whole area here. And again, the Long Island pine barrens have been hit very hard by southern pine beetles. And luckily, it hasn't made it to Lazy Point. Hopefully, it doesn't, because I really wanted to get over here before it's gone. This is the view from last year, so it looks okay. Hopefully, this area is okay. It's very beautiful. But the southern pine beetle has been affecting many parts of Long Island, and Napeague is getting some funding to address it. Unfortunately, though, we have plenty of outbreaks in other areas, like here in Manaville. Here, you can see this outbreak kind of just marching east. So we have a lot along Sunrise Highway too. Unfortunately, in a lot of these areas, we have a lot of outbreaks too. You can see here's one right here. Yeah, this is all. Yeah, you can see this was from 2024. You can see the outbreak. They don't do anything. The state doesn't do enough about it. But they are going to do something about what's going on in Napeague right now. So, dead trees in Hither Hills, Napeague State Parks to be cut, burned due to southern pine beetle and wildfire concerns. And News 12 had a 15-second story on it, of course. They couldn't be bothered because they don't really care about, excuse me, South Shore 12 couldn't be bothered to cover the pine barrens. So anyway, it says here, the State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation will pay $2.2 million to cut trees decimated by the southern pine beetle on Long Island South Fork. State officials will award a 3-year contract to cut and later chip and burn dead trees in the Hither Hills State Park in Montauk and Napeague State Park, according to the governor's office and interim parks commissioner Randy Simons. The work will start on November 1st. And they're looking at it from more of a wildfire perspective, of course. Again, they don't really seem to care about preserving the pine barrens as much as protecting people from a wildfire. At least so far is the impression I'm getting. It says, one only has to look west to California or north to Canada to see the devastating impacts of wildfires. This is a safety issue, said Governor Hochul. It's why we are expediting the next phase of work to lessen the likelihood of a wildfire starting from a car, cigarette, campfire, fire, or sparks from the railroad, and to improve access for firefighters in the event of a wildfire. The work will focus on areas along Montauk Highway and nearby homes and trails. East Hampton officials said about 108 yards burned north of the highway last month in Napeague. In compliance with the Endangered Species Act, officials said the tree removal will occur from December through February, when the endangered northern long-eared bats are hibernating elsewhere. It's been a decade-long infestation. The southern pine beetle was first found on Long Island in 2014 and has since infected tens of thousands of acres in Suffolk County's Central Pine Barrens Preserve, which spans 105,000 acres. And again, not enough's being done about it. Again, why is this not happening in New Jersey? What is New Jersey doing differently? I'm going to keep bringing this up because New Jersey, they have controlled fires. We don't have enough controlled fires. The pine barrens here, as a result, are weaker and more vulnerable to this versus in New Jersey, where they have controlled burns. as well as New Jersey. He's done a better job at preserving open space than we have. So it says the damage can hinder firefighters' access during wildfires. Workers have begun managing the pine barrens by cutting brush and implementing prescribed burns. Okay, that's important. It's a step in the right direction, which also restore the fire-adapted conditions along the South Fork. So this is a step in the right direction. And it's important that they're doing this. State Department of Environmental Conservation Commissioner Amanda Lefton said in a statement, since 2014, the DEC has treated more than 2,500 acres of state and county lands to suppress southern pine beetle population and protect New York's remaining pitch pine forests. The state has also formed a 24-hour fire watch patrol to report brush fires in the region and awarded a $64,000 contract to consultants with Star Tree Wildfire Protection to deliver a risk and fire management plan for the Montauk and Napeague state parks by November. Fallen trees were also cleared this summer along a 2.3-mile hiking trail of the Palmanock Path. In a statement, Suffolk County Executive Edward P. Remain said the planned work at Hither Hills and Napeague State Parks is a positive step toward protecting our residents and natural resources by finally addressing the wildfire danger that the southern pine beetle has created across Long Island. We hope to see more of these efforts from the state and in other Suffolk County communities which also faced dangers of wildfires all year round. And these beetles, again, you see what this looks like. And yeah, you got to wonder, this looks like a tinderbox, all these dead trees here. It just looks terrible, and it's also dangerous, I guess. So this is a good step in the right direction. At least Newsday did cover this, but the only other, there weren't really many. We can hit Google here, Napeague, and just put Napeague and go to news and see what we have here. All right, 27 East covered it, East End Beacon covered it, but no TV stations. No TV stations. And News 12, they didn't even put it on their website. Unbelievable. But this is what News 12 does report on, because, of course, we have to call it. Excuse me, I did it again. Do you believe that? Excuse me, they're South Shore 12 now, all right? They're more upset about the deer population growing, so we're going to play this story here, and to me it sounds like a bunch of BS. I think we have a problem with human overpopulation, but let's play the story. Let's get the sound on. Where's the sound? There it is
booming. The state now is granting hunting permits to help control the amount of deer in Suffolk County. It's the latest in our Taxing Long Island series.
Well, they always have hunting permits.
This site captured on video just a couple of weeks ago. 2 young deer spotted just steps away from the always busy Route 110 in Melville.
Oh,
they're beautiful to watch,
cute,
but why are they so close to traffic in the middle of the day?
We've been concerned about deer overpopulation for quite some time.
Beautiful to watch, but why are they so close to traffic in the middle of the day?
We've been concerned about deer overpopulation for quite some time.
The State Department of Environmental Conservation says the growing deer population on Long Island is problematic.
They certainly cause crop damage for our farmers. And then folks start noticing as they're...
So this gets 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but they don't give a crap about what the beetles are doing to the pine barrens.
creeping into suburban areas that the deer are eating your plantings on your private property. They do wind up crossing roads more often.
And the impact can be taxing. The state cites statistics from State Farm that finds that 70,000 deer vehicle collisions happen each year in New York. The national average cost of a crash with a deer, $4,000. The state says deer also do on average $59 million in damage to crops across New York.
So let's blame the deer.
There are also impacts that include an increased tick population, degrading forest health, and harm to other species that have to
The beetles are way more damaging to the pine barrens than deer. But again, South Shore 12 just is focused on deer.
Compete with deer for food.
Left unchecked, the deer population will keep on growing.
As a result, the state is accepting hunting licenses and deer management permits designed to curtail the deer population in Suffolk County. But it's a controversial policy.
Killing is not conservation.
John DiLeonardo with Humane Long Island says there are better ways to keep Long Island's deer population in check.
We can use immunocontraception to get their numbers down. We can plant native vegetation that is has evolved to being naturally resistant to deer. You can also put up deer fencing. You can play radios. You can do at-home remedies like putting soap or even human hair around areas that you want to deter the deer from.
All right, to read more about the state DEC's policy and rationale, just visit our website, news12.com.
So, yeah, I mean, it's really just, we are, the reason why we have this problem, is twofold. And again, they do have a link here. Click here for more information. I guess this would take us to the DEC, your permits for deer hunting here that you can get. And this is the real reason why they make money off of it, obviously. And you know, in January we can't go hiking in the woods because of them closing the woods off for hunters. And I'm not anti-hunting, so I don't totally agree with the other guy in the story. But we have built so much across Long Island, and this is why the Pine Barrens are suffering too. We haven't preserved enough open space, and when you take away the homes of the deers, well, they're going to wind up wandering into developed areas because there's just less open space overall. It's funny how New Jersey does not have this problem. Gee, I wonder why. So, there you go. But hey, a step in the right direction to southern pine beetle. Shame on you, South Shore 12, again, for not talking about this. I mean, this is an important issue, but you'd rather talk about the deers because it affects a certain demographic. This does not affect a certain demographic, so they could care less. We all know the deal with News 12, unfortunately. News 12 just, you go to that thing. Let's see. They're probably all over the South Shore again. Let's see. Yep. Town of Oyster Bay. Smith's Point closed. All right, there's some other stories here. No, I bet you they were on the South Shore for this too. Let's see. Yep.
You really feel about possible...
I'm not going to play this because it doesn't have to do with the subject of the video, but get the idea. Shouldn't even be doing that. So I really wish there was more stories about the southern pine beetle. I really wish there was. So there was a wildfire in Napeague. I didn't even know that there was a wildfire in Napeague. Let's see if we can read this. So a football field fire on the north side of the railroad tracks in Napeague actually affected the train service too. This was back in. Let's see what's the date of this story. So this is the fire right here. So this is what happened here. You see all those dead trees. It's all tinder. So that's why they've got to cut those dead trees and get them out of there. It was July 16th that this fire happened. So, again, just completely forgotten over there. It shouldn't be. Shame on you, South Shore 12 again. You should be talking about this. It's important stuff. But I mean, they don't care about the pines. We know that already. That's why I'm here. So, that's all for this video. Please click the links below. We'll have the Newsday story. I'll try to find a story that's non-paywalled so you can read that about with this. So, hopefully, we can stop these beetle outbreaks. But honestly, the only way it's going to stop is if we start doing more controlled burns. And we need a really cold winter. We need a really cold winter. We haven't had a really cold winter in a while. We had a cold winter, I think it was 2017 to 2018. We need a cold winter. All right? We need a cold winter badly. And that'll help put a stop, at least slow it down at least. But anyway, that's all I got for you on this subject. Hopefully we'll have more information. This is the way it goes here, unfortunately, with the media. They don't really think, especially the TV media, they don't think the Pine Barrens are important. Shame on them. And I'm not just talking about South Shore 12, but the New York City broadcast stations, too. They just don't care. That's why I'm here. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to talk about what nobody else wants to. So thanks for watching.